Hi everybody, this is Lisa, and it's time again for another Verbling class. In this hour, we are going to be doing some reading, and it's an intermediate to advanced level of reading. So if you looked at it already and it looks a little bit difficult, one of the good things about reading with a teacher is that I can help you understand more, so you can learn some of the vocabulary that you might not understand right now, and you don't have to go looking through the dictionary because we can talk about it and learn that way. So, hi there. Hi, Nihan? Myung. Hi. Nihan, are you there?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. You can call me Sonia.
Sonia?
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I can call you Sonia? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Welcome. Are you from Vietnam? Cool. Okay, wonderful. Patty, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, Patty. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well. So welcome, everybody, and all those people out there in Verbling land. If you're watching now and you would like to join, the join class button should be available pretty soon. So it's a green button above the Verbling chat, and when it's available, you can click on it, and then you will come in to the Google Hangout, and then you will be able to read along with us, because this is going to be a reading class. So in this class, I've chosen 2 articles. We may only finish one, but if we finish the first one, then I have a second one that we can do. So we'll just see how it goes. The good thing about the reading classes, everybody gets to participate. So you get to read out loud, you get to ask questions, and learn some new vocabulary probably. Like I said, these articles, they're not easy. These are not easy English articles, but they're easier when you get to have me tell you what's going on in the article. So even if you don't understand every word, you can probably get the main ideas. Okay, looks like we're full, so let's say hi to everybody and make sure that your microphones are working. On Verbling and in the Google Hangout, you can mute your mic and you can unmute it. If it's muted, then that means it's turned off and it's red. If you want to turn it on, you have to click on it, and that makes it gray, and then everybody can hear you. Okay, so let's say hi. Adham, how are you doing tonight? Or, well, it's my night. Adham, are you there?
Yes, hello, teacher.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, so I'm in Washington State, so my time right now is 8 in the evening, 8 p.m. And what time is it for you?
5 a.m. 5 a.m.
Oh, wow. Early morning again on Saturday. Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Okay. Hi, Antonio. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Wonderful. And Artuf, Layla.
Hi.
Layla.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
So, do I say your name Artuf or Layla, or what's your name?
My name is Layla.
Layla. Okay. Okay. And where are you from, Layla?
I'm from UAE.
Okay. Oh.
Arab Emirates.
Uh-huh. Great. Welcome. And Mine, how are you?
I am fine, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just waiting for the weekend to start.
Yeah.
How about you?
I am fine. I have a quick question.
Sure.
When is your writing class next one?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I have to look at my schedule. Maybe
Please don't schedule midnight.
Okay, no, I won't. Probably on Sunday. Sunday sometime in the day.
Okay.
No, sorry. Sunday I'm not doing any classes because I have to take my son to a mountain biking. It might not be until Monday actually. So,
Okay.
yeah. I have to be gone on Sunday. No classes for me. Okay,
But
hi.
have fun.
Yeah. Hi Sonia.
Hi.
How are you
Yeah.
doing? Good.
I'm okay. Good evening. This
Yeah.
evening in your country?
Yeah.
And it's 10 a.m. in my country.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
Saturday, 10 a.m. for you. That's a good time.
Yeah.
And Patty, where are you, Patty? Patty?
Hi.
Hi. What country are you in, Patty?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good. What country are you in? Where are you from?
Yeah.
Yeah, where? I didn't hear you. Okay, I don't know. Patty, did you turn your mic off? Okay, Pedro, how are you doing?
I'm nervous.
You're very nervous, huh?
Yeah.
You gotta go to bed, get some sleep.
Yeah, but I can't, so I'm gonna spend my time on verbling.
Okay,
Just make sure everything's okay for the TOEFL test.
Awesome. So Pedro, what country are you in?
I'm Brazilian. I'm in Brazil right now.
Okay. So what time is it there? Like after midnight, huh?
Yeah, it's just hit midnight, past midnight.
You better go to bed. What time is your test?
In 8 hours.
Okay, you got a little time. You can sleep for at least 5 hours.
Yeah.
The TOEFL makes people no sleep.
Yeah, nervous. Are you a nervous wreck? You're a nervous wreck.
When I have take TOEFL, I am the same situation. I cannot sleep at all.
Yeah. It's a big test, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll do fine. Hi, Vivian. How are you doing?
Hey Lisa, I'm fine, thank you.
Haven't seen you for a while.
Yes, college.
Yeah, busy. Huh, yeah. All right, you doing well? Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank
Okay.
you.
And Zinue Sang? I don't know if I said that right.
Then you?
Yeah,
You can't call me then you?
Zinyu?
You can't call me then you?
Okay,
Hello,
Zinyu.
Sarah.
Hi there.
Hi, Peter.
Hey, Zinyu, do you have your Verbling window open? Because I hear an echo or...
Oh.
Yeah,
Are you
the...
okay?
Yeah, that's...
I close then to open window.
Okay. That's good.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, that's better. Okay, everybody. I think I gave you guys the link at the top, but there's been a lot of action in the Verbling chat, so let me give it to you again. There is the link, and it goes to a Google document. And I took 2 articles today from Wired.com magazine. It's one I've been taking articles from for because I think a lot of people are interested in technology and business and kind of like what's happening now with the world, and just so Wired.com magazine has a lot of those types of interesting articles. So here we go. I'm gonna make sure. I want to make sure everybody keeps their microphones muted, just so that we don't hear any background noise. It makes it difficult for other people to hear when they're reading, and so let's just keep our microphones muted unless you're reading. Okay. All right, so this is how we do it. I'm going to put the article in my screen. So I'm going to do the screen share. So you can click on mine to see. And the way we do it is I'm going to read a little bit at a time, and then I will call on somebody to read after I read, and you're actually going to read the same thing that I just read. So the first time I'm reading, you just listen and listen to how I pronounce the words and try to understand what I'm saying. And then when it's your turn to read, then you're going to pronounce the words. And if anybody has any questions at any time, some words that you want to understand that's making it difficult for you to understand the article or the paragraph or something, just ask me and I will explain it in different words and maybe write it also in the Verbling chat. So let's get started. The first article is called How to Fly a Human-Powered Helicopter. All right, human-powered just obviously means by a human instead of by gasoline with a motor and everything. So we have this picture of this guy here who looks like he's on a bicycle, but of course he's trying to get this thing up in the air and fly it. And this is a competition that they have. So some of you, I think Pedro, you said you're an engineering student. This is some of the types of things that some people do when they are at very high levels of their studies and they have competitions. So maybe you're doing your master's or your PhD, and part of that for fun is to try to invent new things and use new technologies. And so people have these kind of contests where they challenge each other to create something new and innovative. So let's see what their story is about this. Okay, it turns out piloting a human-powered helicopter takes a lot more than just pedaling your ass off. The official challenge of flying and powering a helicopter for at least 60 seconds to a height of 3 meters and staying within a 10-meter square has been around since 1980. Several teams have tried and all have failed. Okay, Aram, can you read that? We're just gonna go in order. Everybody want to say the ASS word? Yeah, pedaling your ass off. All right. Okay, go ahead, Adam.
Okay. It turns out piloting a human-powered helicopter takes a lot more than just pedaling your ass off. The official challenge of flying and powering a helicopter for at least 60 seconds to a height of 3 meters and staying within a 10-meter square has been around since 1980. Several teams have tried and all have failed.
Yes. Okay, so piloting probably means flying. Human-powered takes more than just pedaling your ass off. So that's English, a little bit on the slang, very informal side. But this magazine, Wired.com, obviously has a lot of very young, kind of innovative writers. So they use this kind of language sometimes in their articles. But whenever you're doing something and you say you're doing it like I'm biking my ass off or working my ass off, it just means you're doing it a lot. So pedaling a lot. So pedaling is like what you do with your feet when you're riding a bike. That's pedaling. And so it takes more than just pedaling a lot. You have to try to do this, fly this helicopter for at least a minute, 60 seconds. All right, but nobody's done it yet. It's really a mix of power at the right time and control and finesse. Pilot/engine Colin Gore told us in describing how to fly one of 2 helicopters currently trying to win the $250,000 Sikorsky Prize. Gore is part of a team from the University of Maryland that hopes to finally claim the human-powered helicopter title this weekend and end their heated battle with a team of Canadians also trying to find the perfect balance of power, control, and design. Okay, Antonio?
Yes.
It's really a mix of power at the right time and control and finesse. Pilot/engine Colin Gore told us in describing how to fly one of two helicopters, currently trying to win the $250,000 Sikorsky Prize. Gore is part of a team from the University of Maryland that hopes to finally claim the human-powered helicopter title this weekend and end their heated battle with a team of Canadians also trying to find the perfect balance of power, control, and design.
Yeah. So just a few words here. So they're trying to find a mix. So that means putting all these different parts together. So it's the kind of good timing, control, and finesse. When you're doing something, but it's very subtle. It's not like let's see. It's kind of a hard word to explain. When you have finesse, it means you have grace. You have not really style, but you know how to do something without making big movements. So you have to be very careful when you're doing this. So it's going to take finessing it. So it's going to be you have to be very careful. You can't just get in it and start pedaling and move it all around. You'll just crash it. So you have to be careful. That's what that means. Let's see. I think everybody. All right. In a heated battle, when they use that, it means there's a lot of competition. It's a very heated battle. These two teams are going back and forth trying to win. Nobody's won yet, but they want to finally claim the title. That means be the winner, basically. They want to win. So if you claim something, it means you get it, and they want to have the title. So they want to be the winners. So they need to have a perfect balance of power, control, and design of the helicopter. And Pedro, you said that Leonardo da Vinci was the first one who tried the human-powered helicopter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of things, right?
A lot of things, yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing guy. The Gamera 2 is huge. It has 4 large, slow-turning rotors, each nearly 43 feet across, and has a total width of 105 feet. Yet it weighs just 71 pounds. The ultra-low weight is accomplished using a carbon fiber truss structure that provides just barely enough structural strength to keep it from collapsing. So as you can see it's a little bit hard to see in the picture, but in this picture, I'll make it bigger. You can see that these are all these trusses and things that are built together, but they're made out of this carbon fiber, which is a very, very light material. They make like bikes out of it to be really lightweight and stuff. So it doesn't even weigh as much as like a 10-year-old kid. 71 pounds is not very, very heavy at all. Okay, so it's very highly engineered. Okay, Leila?
Yes. The Camera 2 is huge. It has 4 large slow-turning rods, each nearly 43 feet across, and has a total width of 105 feet. Yet it weighs just 71 pounds. The weight is accomplished using a carbon fiber truss structure that provides just barely enough structural strength to keep it from
collapsing. Yeah.
Collapsing.
Yep. Yeah. So here's some more words. Turning rotors. So those are the things that move, kind of like a part of the motor kind of thing. It's a Pedro can probably explain it better. These things right here, the circles and stuff, what makes it go around so that he can pedal it. And then, yeah, so basically the main thing is you want to know is it's very, very light. So it's ultra low weight. The word ultra means like super or very much or a lot. It's really, really low weight. Can you imagine like a regular helicopter weighs just tons? So this is a very lightweight thing. carbon fiber I there. That's that type of material I was saying. It's very light, and it's just barely. So it's like not almost not enough structure to keep it from falling apart, but it's barely falling. Staying together is what it's saying. The structure itself is so light and so delicate that it's almost collapsing. Collapsing means falling in on itself and falling apart, but it's not. So okay. The hyper delicate nature of the craft poses the biggest challenge to getting it airborne and keeping it there. Pedaling too hard can cause the rotors to self-destruct. Gore, that's the name of that guy who's doing it, is pursuing a doctoral degree in material sciences at the University of Maryland and one of just 5 people who fly the human-powered helicopter. Mine?
Okay, the hyper-delicate nature of the craft poses the biggest challenges to getting it airborne and keeping it there. Pedaling too hard can cause the rotors to self-destruct. Gore is pursuing a doctoral degree in material sciences at the University of Maryland and one of just 5 people who fly the human-powered helicopter.
Yeah. So delicate. When something is delicate, it means it's very easy to break. And if it's hyper delicate, then it's really easy to break. Like some kind of like a wine glass is very thin, so that's easy to shatter if you drop it or something. So this machine that they built is very delicate, and it sounds like it's very challenging to even make it work. And it could self-destruct. When something self-destructs, it means it falls apart by itself even. And you guys probably all know what doctoral degree is, a high degree after your master's degree, material sciences, and he's just one of 5 people. So this is something that not people are actually even allowed to fly, because I imagine they probably spent a lot of money designing it, so they don't want to take their chances having it get messed up. All right, unlike the Canadian design, which basically suspends a bicycle beneath the helicopter, the Gamera 2 pilot sits suspended beneath the contraption and uses his legs and arms to turn 2 sets of pedals. Timing is everything. The blades have momentum, and you have to give it time to come up to speed a little before you take off, so the impulse you put on it doesn't break things, he said. It's a delicate craft. Okay. Who's next? Sonia?
Okay. Unlike the Canadian design, which basically suspend a bicycle beneath the helicopter, the Camera 2 pilot sits suspended beneath the contraption and uses his legs and arms to turn 2 sets of pedals. Timing is everything. The blades have momentum, and you have to give it time to come up to speed a little before you take off, so the impulse you put on it doesn't break things. He said it's a delicate craft.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so basically, so they're talking about unlike, so it's not like the Canadian design. It's a different design. But the Canadian design, I guess, is basically like a bicycle suspends. When you suspend something, it's like it's hanging there. So it's suspended in air, so the bicycle beneath the helicopter is suspended. But the Gamera 2, he sits there and he basically has to use his legs and his arms because they have 2 sets of pedals. Timing is everything. All right, the blades have momentum. That's when you start getting speed, and it gets picking up, so that the speed and the momentum helps you to lift it off the ground. But you have to be careful, because otherwise it might break. Basically, that's what it's saying here. It's a delicate craft. So the word craft in English has many different meanings, but in this case, it's talking about aircraft. So it's aircraft like airplanes, helicopters, jets, things like that. Those are also known as crafts. So you can see in this picture here, I'll make it a little bigger. It's really wide. It has a long wingspan there, and there's this guy in the middle, suspended in the middle there. And they only have to get it up and keep it there for a minute, but I guess it's a pretty difficult thing to do. Although the helicopter must achieve an altitude of 3 meters, approximately 10 feet, it only has to reach that height once. Gore says the key is to meet that requirement as soon as you get the rotors up to speed. You need to make a decisive moment where you apply full power. Climb as high as you can, up above 10 feet, he says. Put that back. Okay. All right, Patty.
Okay. Although the helicopter must achieve an altitude of 3 meters 10 feet, it only has to reach that height once. Gore says the key is to meet the requirement as soon as you get the rotors up to speed. You need to make a decisive moment where you apply full power, climb as high as you can, up above 10 feet, he said.
Yeah. So altitude, that's like the height. So they just have to get it up there. And once you get it up there, but basically he keeps saying kind of the same thing. It's just very hard to do, and you need to make a decisive moment. So that means a decisive has to do with the word decision, when you make a decision. So it's an important moment where you have to decide what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. So there's a lot of timing involved. You have to do it at the right time. You have to give it, we call it full power. That means you put, like if you were talking about full power car, you would put your foot on the gas pedal and push it all the way down so you could speed up as fast as you can, as much power. But here he's talking about the pedaling and all that. So you have to get up above 10 feet, which is about 3 meters. Then you let off the power, but that transition between climbing and dropping down again, you need to be very careful about maintaining a fluid stroke, because if there's a fraction of a second where you are basically letting go of it, the helicopter is going to drift horribly. Gore says any large amount of lateral drift quickly gets to the point of being unrecoverable, and when the drift is combined with one part of the helicopter losing altitude, a weekend ending crash is the result. That sounds very easy to crash. Okay, Pedro.
Okay. Then when you let off the power, but that transition between climbing and dropping down again, you need to be very careful about maintaining a fluid stroke, because if there's a fraction of a second where you are basically letting go of it, the helicopter is going to drift horribly. Gore says any large amount of lateral drift quickly gets to the point of being unrecoverable, and when the drift is combined with one part of the helicopter losing altitude, a weekend-ending crash is the result.
Yeah. So basically, there's some kind of transition. So a transition is when you go from one state to another state. So in this case, he's transitioning between get the helicopter off the ground, and then once getting it there, trying to maintain it, but it's going to start dropping down again. So he's saying you have to be careful about maintaining a fluid stroke. So what that means is fluid means smooth. So when the stroke refers to his movements of pedaling with his hands and his feet, and it has to be very smooth. It can't be like choppy or too fast or too slow. It just has to be a really smooth pedal. That's why he's explaining there. And if there's a fraction of a second, so we say a fraction of a second when we're about a very short amount of time, then you're basically going to drift. That means you're going to start falling over to one side. And here he says horribly. That just is a word to describe like a lot, basically. It's going to be moving over to the side a lot, and that's dangerous. The lateral drift is the part where it's going over to one side, and the wingspan is starting to dip. Probably on one side, it's falling down, and then at some point he says it might be unrecoverable, going to be able to get the wing back level again, so you might just crash. So you can imagine that's probably what happened when they first were designing airplanes and stuff too, is trying to figure out that timing where you can get the thing up in the air without the wings falling to one side, because you don't want this. A weekend ending crash. That means if you crash it, that's the end of your weekend. There's no more contest for you to be in, because you just wrecked your helicopter. All right, the pilots do have some control beyond applying the power. Gore says the details are a closely guarded secret, but the craft has switches the pilot can engage with their thumbs to exert some measure of control over the rotors. It's basically a very clever way of managing the power to each of the rotors so we can correct for drift, he says. Okay, Vivian? Vivian, are you there? Where'd you go? Okay. Zinyu, you want to read?
The pilots do have some control beyond
Now I
applying the
can hear
power.
you. Sorry.
Okay, let him read, and then you can read the next one. Go ahead, Zinyu.
The pilots
Can you hear me,
do
teacher?
have some control beyond applying the power. Girl says the details are a closely guarded secret, but the craft has switches the pilot can engage with.
Whoops. Zinyu, you got muted. Zinyu.
Oh.
There you go. Keep going.
But the craft has switches the pilot can engage with their thumbs to exert some measure of control over the rotors. It's basically a very clever way of managing the power to each of the rotors so we can correct for drift, he said. Sir,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Could you slow down your speed? I don't hear clearly.
Okay.
I am a beginner.
Okay. Yeah, this is a very difficult article probably then for you. Yeah, this is an advanced article. So the pilots have some control. They have a closely guarded secret. Closely guarded means they're taking care not to tell anybody. Probably just a few people know how it really works. And they have some switches. Those are like little things you push up and down so that the pilot can engage. That means that he can use it with his thumbs. And he can exert, which means to put some pressure on it. So he can change the something about the rotors, how much power they get, probably. Yeah, that's right. Managing the power so that in case they start drifting to one side, he has a little bit of control to make it go back. So that means to correct it. So if it starts to drift and you correct it, it means you do something to make it go back right again. So Gore believes the ability to use his arms and legs gives the team an advantage because it smooths out the power strokes during the flight. We have these dynamic loads, and putting the arms in there is sort of like putting a battery in there where you can level out the peaks of that curve, he said. Okay, Vivian, you want to read now? Vivian, can you hear me? Pedro, your ass back here. I don't know. She said that her audio goes out. Oh, there you are.
Yes,
Okay,
now it's back. I had to refresh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Where it says Gore believes.
Gore believes the ability to use his arms and legs gives the team an advantage because it smooths out the power strokes during the flight. We have these dynamic loads, and putting the arms in there is sort of like putting a battery in there, where you can manage level out the peaks of that curve, he said.
So, any words in there? To have an advantage, thing that's going to help you do better than the other team. So they think they have an advantage by using their arms because they can get the smooth out the power strokes. Dynamic. When you have a dynamic load, that means dynamic means lots of, like, it can be going. It's very volatile. It could go up. It could go down. It's kind of, you don't know what to expect. So you have to kind of work with it to understand how it works. And the load means how much, like, pressure it has, the weight which coming down on the wings and stuff like that. So they have a little bit of ability to manage that because using both their arms and their legs. The pilots are all students at the University of Maryland. Gore says they initially looked at local cycling clubs and racing teams, but they didn't get a ton of interest. They also discovered that elite strength wasn't a guarantee of a good flight. They ended up testing one successful racer from Washington, D.C., but he still weighed 145 pounds, Gore said. They probably need somebody light. Adham?
Okay. The pilots are all students at the University. The pilots are all students at the University of Maryland. Gore says they initially looked at local cycling clubs and racing teams, but they didn't get a ton of interest. They also discovered that the elite strength wasn't a guarantee of a good flight. They ended up testing one successful racer from Washington, D.C., but he still weighed 145 pounds,
Yeah.
Gore says.
So, yeah, they initially, first, they went around to local bike racing or cycling clubs and racing teams, but they didn't get a ton of interest. So if you describe something like, I didn't get a ton of whatever, that just means a lot. So they did not get a lot of interest. People didn't really care about this. And they also discovered that elite strength. So if you're an elite of anything, that means like you're the best, and usually that's like an athlete. So having really good strength was not a guarantee of being able to fly the helicopter well. And also it sounds like they needed somebody to weigh less than 145 pounds. The whole thing only weighs 71 pounds. The extra strength didn't offset the extra weight. The pilots tipped the scales between 120 and 135 pounds. Insert skinny engineer joke here. The team spent much of today setting up their helicopter and preparing for this weekend's flights. If all goes well, they hope to begin making some initial test flights in the morning and make the first attempts at the prize midday Saturday. Okay, Antonio?
Yes.
Okay. Can you?
Yeah. The extra strength didn't offset the extra weight. The pilots tipped the scales between 120 and 135 pounds. Insert skinny junior's joke here. The team spent much of today setting up the helicopter and preparing for this weekend's flight. If all goes well, they hope to begin making some initial test flights in the morning and make the first attempts at the price midday Saturday.
Yeah. So, so Vivian, you want to be the pilot of this helicopter?
I'm gonna send in an application.
Yeah, because guess what? That would be pretty sweet if you won $250,000, huh?
Yeah.
That's the prize. So this is the whole reason why they are doing all of this. Don't forget that there's some big prize money. That's $250,000. If somebody can just do it for 1 minute, it doesn't even sound that hard, but it must be pretty difficult. So what do you think, Pedro? Could you do something like that?
No, I wait a lot. I wait a lot more than that. So
well,
not at all.
Let's make a deal. You build the
Yeah,
helicopter
I
and
could
I ride
build-
it.
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah. What kinds of things do you do in engineering? What type of engineering do you like?
Oil platforms and marine engineering.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, for petroleum.
Yeah.
Yeah, the petroleum field. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So we read that. I think we have time to read through this next one. It's not that long. It's kind of a high-tech transportation type topic. And the title is "We Desperately Want to Drive Renault's Stupid F1 Tribute Car." So I thought it had a funny title. It's about this little car. It's called, that's a Twizy with a carbon fiber front splitter. So again, you guys are learning about carbon fiber. It's a very a lightweight material that they make things out of today. So let's just read through this. Of all the vehicles Renault could have chosen to highlight its Formula One technology, it picked the Twizy, a glorified electric golf cart with the racing pedigree of, well, an electric golf cart. Yet we want to drive it desperately. We are not too proud to admit this. Okay, Leila.
Okay. Of all the vehicles Renault could have chosen to highlight its Formula One technology, it picked the Twizy, a glorified electric golf cart with the racing pedigree of, well, an electric golf cart. Yet we want to drive it desperately. We are not too proud to admit this.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess Renault made some kind of, they have Formula One, so I don't know if you guys are very familiar with this, but Formula One those are those big race cars like the Indy 500 and those types of races. And so you can see it has these kind of wheels on it. So it's probably talking about the technology of the motor, and yet instead of having a Formula One race car, they're showcasing it. So they're showing it off in what looks like a glorified, like made up or really fancy, something that they're trying to be fancy, electric golf cart, which is not usually fancy at all. A pedigree is racing pedigree. That means like a dog has a pedigree. It means like who was the mom and who was the dad. And if you have a very expensive dog, then it has a very good pedigree. So they're saying that this does not have a very good pedigree because it's just an electric golf cart. So, but even though it looks pretty funky and weird and doesn't look that great and it looks like some electric golf cart, they really, really, really want to try it out. That's what it means when they say desperately. They are desperate to try to drive it. And they say they are not too proud to admit this. This means that they don't care if you think it's a dumb idea. They still really want to check it out. So the people writing the article at Wired magazine, they want.
Could I call like a guilty
Yes.
pleasure? It's not a guilty pleasure because it's not a thing, but it's like that, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's like they know it sounds kind of silly. Like, why would somebody even care about a car that looks like that? But on the other hand, they're intrigued. They are like they're excited. They're curious, and so they're like, we want to drive it. We want to check it out. You know, like why would Renault? Why would Renault make it look like this. It looks kind of ugly and it doesn't look that cool. But on the other hand, because it's so ugly, it's kind of cool, you know? So, yeah. And it's also interesting because it has probably a really fast motor or something. I don't know. We'll see what it says. The French automaker, so Renault is a French company, which has won the F1 Constructors and Drivers Championships twice as a manufacturer and has provided engines to the likes of Red Bull Racing, inexplicably festooned the lowly Twizy with all manner of F1 frippery, including a front splitter, side pods, and rear wing. So those are all the things that they put onto it. Okay, Francisco, do you want to read?
Sorry, before that, what the meaning of the word festooned?
Means they put festooned is they put all this stuff on it.
Okay.
So they inexplicably, like, we don't know why they did this. It's kind of crazy, but they put all this stuff onto this crazy looking Twizy. So it's not a very common word. It's kind of more for dramatic effect. Like, why would they do all this? Yeah, they loaded it. You could say they loaded it.
Okay.
And frippery?
Yeah, frippery. With all manner of F1 frippery. I don't even know what the word frippery means, but from the context, I just think it means all the stuff that goes along with F1. So it's like all the accoutrements or the stuff that comes with an Formula 1 race car. So that's including the splitter, because you know the regular Formula 1 race cars, they have that splitter in the front. They have the side pods. And like if you look at it, you can tell it's kind of like it has a little bit of that race car look. So that's what it means. I can look it up when somebody's reading. I'll look it up exactly, but that's what I think it means. It's just saying that they put all this stuff on this little kind of golf cart looking thing. Like, we don't know why they did it. Okay, Francisco, would you read? Yeah.
What? Sorry?
Do you want to read?
Oh, okay. The French automaker, which has won the F1 Constructors and Drivers Championship twice as a manufacturer and has provided engines to the likes of Red Bull Racing, inexplicably festooned the lowly Twizy with all manner of F1 flippery, including a front splitter, side pods, and rear wing.
Yeah.
Is it good,
yeah, it's good. So yeah, so let's see. Constructor, manufacturer. You probably know that they means they make the cars. Inexplicably, we can't explain why they festoon this. Lowly means like even very fancy or cool or anything. It's just some dumb looking Twizy is the name of the vehicle. And with frippery. So frippery, another word is like, it's like showy. So off one stuff like the front splitter, the side pods, that kind of stuff. So all of this stuff is about as useful as your appendix, but no matter, it's nothing we haven't seen on Honda Civics for years, ramping the absurdity up to 11. Renault Sport added tires and wheels from its Formula 2 cars and fitted the interior with a single carbon fiber race bucket and the button-laden steering wheel of a Formula Renault 3.5 Series racer. Okay, Zhao, you want to read? You just got here. Your microphone is muted. Yeah, okay, hold on. Zhao, your microphone's muted. I can't hear you.
Zhao.
Zhao. Zhao. Zhao.
João.
João.
Yes.
It's a Brazilian name.
Yes.
I know. John. It's John.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
John. We
John
can't hear you. Hi, but your microphone is muted. You have to click on the microphone.
Yeah. Now okay?
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead. All of this stuff.
All this stuff is about as useful as your appendix. But to matter, it's nothing we haven't seen on Honda Civics for years. Happy the absurdity up to 11 Renault Sport added the tires and the heels from its Formula 2 cars and fitted to the interior with a single carbon fiber race bucket and the bottom-leading steering wheel of a Formula Renault 3.5 Series racer.
Yeah. So basically, this is kind of a funny sentence because he says all this stuff is about as useful as your appendix. So a lot of people think that in the human body, the appendix doesn't really matter. Like you can take it out and you're still going to be fine. So they don't really understand why Renault did all this stuff. It's kind of absurd. It's necessary. This is a phrase here, ramping. When you ramp up something, that means you even more. And this is a reference to, I don't know if anybody knows the movie. They were talking about turning. It doesn't go up to 11, it goes up to 10. So they're just saying that they basically overdid it. They just were so over the top with this car. And that's why these guys who wrote this article are probably so crazy wanting to drive it, because why did they do this? So why would we possibly want to drive it, KERS? By adding the kinetic energy recovery system, that's KERS, currently used on F1 cars, Renault has increased the power, so that's why they want to drive it, the power of the Twizy six-fold. The electric, I'm going to give you a little bit more. The electric motor in the Twizy is, under normal circumstances, good for 17 horsepower, which is about what you get from a riding lawn mower. Okay, Mine?
Okay. So why would we possibly want to drive it? By adding the kinetic energy recovery system currently used on F1 cars, Renault has increased the power of the Twiz sixfold. The electric motor in the Twiz is, under normal circumstances, good for 70 horsepower, which is about what you get from a riding lawnmower.
Yeah. Lawn mower. Yeah. Yeah. So basically now we understand why they want to drive this, because usually an electric golf cart or an electric lawnmower, something like this, is very slow. You can only get 17 horsepower, but they increased it by sixfold. So now it's a lot faster. And by the way, a riding lawnmower in the United States have very big yards or a lot of land. They usually buy riding lawnmowers. So they cut their grass by sitting down on a little like tractor type thing, and that cuts their grass or their lawn. Okay, hi Conrad, I saw you joined us. Okay, that clearly wasn't enough to justify the addition of a rear wing. So the obviously over-caffeinated, too much Red Bull, engineers at Renault used KERS. Okay, so KERS is this kinetic energy recovery system. To boost output to 97 ponies, that's horsepower, 97 horsepower. In keeping with the F1 theme, you only get the extra juice for 13 seconds at a time. Use it wisely. The result is a Twizy that can hit 60 miles per hour in the same amount of time as the automaker's quickest road machine, the Megane Renault Sport 265 Hot Hatch, which clocks in around 6 seconds. So they basically made this like super car here. Okay, Pedro.
Okay. That clearly wasn't enough to justify the addition of a rear wing, so they obviously over-caffeinated too much Red Bull. Engineers at Renault used KERS to boost our output to 97 ponies. In keeping with the F1 theme, you only get that extra juice for 13 seconds at a time. Use it wisely. The result is a Twizy that can hit 60 millions per hour in the same amount of time as the automaker's quickest road machine, the Megane Renault Sport 265 Hot Hatch, which clocks in around 6 seconds.
Okay, so basically they had some funny words in here. So the rear wing is, they're basically saying they didn't really need to put it on there, and so they're saying, were they over caffeinated? Were the engineers over caffeinated, or have they had too much Red Bull? Red Bull is a caffeinated sports drink kind of thing. But they used this system, so that's really what they're trying to showcase here. Is this KERS system can increase your power output, which basically allows you to get a lot of extra juice. Extra juice means more, but you only get it for 13 seconds. Use it wisely. And basically, though, they made this little electric car be able to go 60 miles per hour in 6 seconds. So it's the thing that their quickest road car can do. So that sounds pretty fun. Fast, but considering Renault doesn't even give estimates on the standard Twizy's acceleration times, it's difficult to really compare. What we can compare is top speed. When the KERS is triggered, the motor spins up to 10,000 RPM to deliver a Vmax of, wait for it, 68 miles per hour. That's up from a little over 50 miles per hour in production, guys. Okay, Vivian?
Fast, but considering Renault doesn't even give estimates on the standard Twizy's acceleration times, it's difficult to really compare. What we can compare is top speed. When the KERS is triggered, the motor spins up to 10,000 RPM to deliver a Vmax of, wait for it, 68 miles per hour. That's up from a little over 50 miles per hour in production, guys.
Yeah. So, considering, so even though, like, they're basically like, even think about it, they don't even give you estimates of the acceleration time, so that means how fast it gets going faster. Acceleration means getting faster when it's driving faster. So it's hard to compare, but they did say that it can get up to 68 miles per hour. This little thing here where it says wait for it, that's become kind of a popular thing in the United States right now. I don't know, it probably came from some movie or somebody saying it, but sometimes when people are going to tell you something that maybe you can't believe, they'll say wait for it, and then they tell you what it is, and then you're like, oh. So it's kind of a funny thing that people do. Yeah, like suspense. Wait for it. You know. So, and then right here in production, guys, that just means that when doing the tests, when they were looking at it while they were making it, it was only going a little bit over 50 miles per hour. So they actually, at the end, improved it a lot. It went even faster. So as you'd expect, the Twizy Renault Sport F1 is strictly a concept that will be making the rounds at various auto events throughout the year. But if it happened to wander into the Wired parking lot, we'd gladly take it for a spin at around 2 a.m. Okay, Arham?
Okay, as you'd expect, the Twizy Renault Sport F1 is strictly a concept that will be making the rounds at various auto events throughout the year. But if it happened to wander into the Wired parking lot, we'd gladly take it for a spin at around 2 a.m.
Yeah. So they know that it's just a concept car, so it's not they're just showing off their new technology, and they're saying, though, like kind of joking, but if it happened to wander, so wanders, like it just, you walk without really a purpose. It just kind of wanders into the parking lot. It kind of gets there somehow. Then they would gladly take it for a spin. So take it for a spin, drive it. They would gladly drive it, but they would do it at 2 a.m. Why do you think they would do it at 2 a.m.?
So fast as we can.
Yeah, so they can drive
The roads are empty.
fast. Yeah, the roads are empty, and they could really have some fun driving it around pretty fast. Okay.
And maybe also because people won't see them driving because it's
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, probably. They don't want anybody else to come and try it out. They want to have it all to themselves. Yeah.
Maybe they don't want to be seen in that car like that.
Yeah. Such an ugly car. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for coming and reading. You guys did a great job. Does anybody have any questions before we go? I'm going to start another reading class right now, so it's a little bit different topic. But anybody have any questions before we end this class?
No.
Nope. Okay. All right. Good job. Okay, Pedro, are you going to bed now?
Thank you very much.
I don't know. I'm still not feeling sleepy, so
maybe you
join
need
another
to
class.
maybe you need to listen to some meditations and just like relax your mind.
English meditations, because I need to practice my English.
Right? Yeah, you can find English meditations. You can listen to Eckhart Tolle. He has a nice soft voice. He'll put you to sleep.
Okay. Thanks
Okay,
for
guys.
the suggestion. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Ivy.